Alejandro lowers his head defeated. Hey, it's not a tragedy. If you have to dress as a girl for a few months in exchange for staying alive, I don't think that's too high a price to pay. Or is it? No, I guess it won't be that bad. Plus you'll have everything any girl your age could wish for, a good school, a student apartment surrounded by other boys and girls your age, new clothes, money and even beauty. Because if you haven't noticed, you are much more attractive as a woman than as a man. So instead of complaining, you should try to enjoy the opportunity that the government is giving you to have a new life. Alejandro couldn't help feeling flattered and even proud with the comment about his beauty, but he didn't dare show it. When the trial is over, can I be me again? All the time you will be you. Just living as a girl. Okay, but. Yes, when the trial is over we will see what options there are. For the moment, we need you to adapt to your new personality as soon as possible, because if you don't succeed, we won't even make it to the trial. All right. I don't know if I can enjoy it. Yes, you can. Witness protection turned him into a woman. Part 3. Alejandro looks again at everything that Ivan brought him. Where do I begin? I'm going to help you in my free time. Tomorrow I'll come in the morning to see what you need, but for now, I suggest that you take time to try on everything. Start with the underwear. The gaffs are special for you to see yourself as a girl down there. You can even wear them with a bikini, if you want to go swimming. She tells him as she shows them to him. Oh really? Huh. I don't know, and I'm not going to help you with that. That's why I tell you to take the opportunity to familiarize yourself with everything and if you can, try on the clothes. Okay. These are breast forms, the ones I brought you are simple, to put inside the bra, but then I am going to bring you other ones of much better quality that stick to your skin and you can use them for weeks. It is also important that you get used to wearing a bra. Ivan searches through the things and finds a couple of magazines. These will help you begin to understand when to use each thing and at least the basics of skincare and makeup. Getting ready to go out. Any questions? Alex, worried, and trying to assimilate everything. No, well yes, many. Don't worry, you'll be able to handle everything. Said Ivan. I leave you, because I have a lot to do, and by tomorrow, when I come for you, I hope you are ready with a feminine and natural look to go out during the day. Okay? Alejandro nodded, acknowledging. Just, don't forget at the end, to put on your nightgown and open the curtains before going to sleep. With this, Ivan left, leaving Alejandro alone, in front of all the new clothes and accessories of his new identity. When Agent Castello left, Alejandro sat on the bed looking at everything without really knowing what to do. Suddenly he turned to the door of the room and found a mirror. The image of the pretty girl looking back at him in the mirror unnerved him. Was that girl really him? He stood in front of the mirror and looked at himself calmly for the first time. Hours had passed since Ivan prepared him to go out with just a little makeup and a half-combed wig, yet, he couldn't recognize himself. In that mirror there was only a pretty girl. She moved around a little to see different angles and couldn't help but feel pretty for the first time in her life. That sensation caused an unexpected smile. It had been a terribly long and exhausting day. It was after 2 a.m. Alejandro decided that he didn't have the energy to try on the clothes, so he went into the bathroom, carefully took off the skirt and blouse he was wearing, looked in the mirror again and felt immediate displeasure. In his underwear he did look like a man with bra. In addition to the obvious bulge between his legs, he still had body hair and his body was full of straight lines and angles. It looked like the worst thing he could find under the skirt and blouse he had just taken off. No. If I'm going to do this, I can't look like this, he told himself. He looked for the hair removal cream, applied it all over his body and went into the bath. When he left the shower, he spent a few minutes understanding how gaffs worked. He put on one, matching panties and bra, and her nightgown, and she looked in the mirror again, feeling better, and went to sleep. The next day he would spend time getting familiar with the clothes and everything else. The first thing he saw when he opened his eyes was Agent Costello standing next to the bed. "Did the princess rest?" she asked ironically. "It's after 11. What's the matter?" Alejandro asked. "Did you at least try the clothes on?" "Not all of it, it was past 2 o'clock, but I finished shaving and put this on." Sitting up so Ivan could see him with the nightgown on. "Very good, but you can't be getting up at this time, we don't have time." Alejandro without understanding. "What are you taking about? What is your hurry? You have not understand?" she asked. "If you don't want to blow your cover, you're going to have to enter school in 2 weeks, and you need to be ready to interact with everyone without arousing suspicion. I don't know how you feel, but I think you're months away from being a girl in high school." Alejandro trying to assimilate. "Okay, should I get dressed or what do you want me to do?" "No, I have to go, just rest your arm here, I need to take a blood sample." "And what for?" "For your hormonal profile, we can't risk your voice changing or your mustache starting to grow before the trial is over. I don't want to be responsible for the murder of the bearded woman." Alejandro just grimaced at the comment as he watched Ivan take the blood sample. "I'll come later, your mission is to try on all the clothes, comb the wig, and if you have time, try to put on some makeup. I want to laugh a little." Alejandro took it as a challenge. He was sure he could look good, and the sooner he achieved it, the sooner he could avoid Agent Costello's constant pressure. He spent the whole day trying on clothes. He soon discovered that with some clothes, the girl in the mirror looked better, and without anyone's judgment, she began to define what she liked and what she didn't. The feeling of those fabrics on his skin was extraordinary. The way the skirts fell on his legs or flew with his movement, the effect of some clothes that made her look older or younger. He was discovering a whole new world full of options and variables that he had never imagined, and although it was totally strange to him, it was also interesting and even fun. He could process that part consciously and rationally, but there was something else that was much more threatening. For some reason he was enjoying it. He didn't want to explore that feeling further and decided to convince himself that he simply liked learning new things and doing everything in the best way possible. After a few hours, he chose a skirt and blouse outfit that he looked good in, and sat in front of the mirror with magazines in hand to experiment with the cosmetics that Ivan had left for him. He searched and discovered that all the magazines had at least one makeup tutorial, sexy look, 60s, girls' night, and many more. He was clear that too much makeup would make him look like a clown and attract more attention than necessary, so he decided to try a casual look. It took him some time to identify what he had available and even longer to apply it, as the magazines suggested for girls with little experience. He started with the eyeliner. That would give his eyes time to stop crying as long as he applied everything else. He couldn't believe how difficult it was to apply a simple line on the edge of his eye, but after several attempts, he achieved the desired effect on his right eye. The next challenge would be to make the left eye look the same. It took almost an hour, but he was finally satisfied with the eyeliner. The rest was relatively simple: moisturizing cream, a little blush to color the cheeks, and a pink lipstick. In the end, just 2 brushes of clear mascara on his lashes, which proved to be more complicated than the magazine said, but it was definitely worth the effort because of the way it changed his expression. Brushing and arranging the wig also took more than 15 minutes, but that completed the effect. He looked in the mirror and again, he had this strange feeling. It wasn't fear or simple satisfaction for a goal accomplished. Once again, he felt pretty. It was something totally new and unexpected. He moved slightly to see how the skirt moved, and he stayed looking at himself and inevitably discovering details that he would like to improve. He thought about changing his clothes, but several hours had passed and he was hungry. There was nothing to eat in the kitchen, so he decided to call Agent Costello. "Vanessa? Yes, it's me, he said unsurely. You are going to come? Maybe later. Why? It's just. I'm hungry and there's nothing here. Have you tried on all the clothes I left you? Yes, I already did everything you told me. Okay, that's why I went in the morning, to go out together and get everything you needed, but since you weren't ready, my day has complicated. You're going to have to go out alone. Are you crazy? Sooner or later you're going to have to go out, that's why I left money for you in the kitchen. What if someone sees me? Don't worry, if you look half as good as you did yesterday, no one will suspect anything, even if you walk with the grace of a rheumatic elephant. I hope I don't walk too badly, Alejandro responded smiling. I don't know. But tell me, honestly, do you look good? Alejandro looks in the mirror. I think so. Then don't worry, just try to walk with your back straight and go buy something to eat. Okay. See you later. If something happens, call me. Alejandro hung up the phone and hesitated for a moment. He looked in the mirror again, took keys, phone, money and gathering courage, opened the door. Once outside, he didn't even know where to walk, he didn't know the area and he didn't dare ask. The only good thing was that around him there were only other boys and girls more or less his age, each going about their business. Trying to control his nerves, as he walked through the gardens he repeated to himself. You are Vanessa, walk like a girl, short steps, you are Vanessa. When he reached a street, he stopped to look around, looking for a store or restaurant. And a voice interrupted his thoughts. You look lost. You are new? Yes, he answered nervously. Don't worry, a year ago, I was the same. What are you looking for? Where to eat something. I'm on the way to the Circle K, on the corner, and around the corner there is a Walmart, McDonald's, and some other things. You go with me? Alejandro nodded nervously and they began to walk together. Along the way, Alejandro, of course, had to introduce himself as Vanessa. Kim told him that she would be entering 9th grade so they would possibly coincide in some classes. Kim was from Galliano and came to New Orleans High School looking for better opportunities to earn a college scholarship. Vanessa only thought of saying that she came from Houston. When they arrived at the Circle K, Alejandro was totally focused on the conversation to avoid being discovered, but at least he was no longer anxious about people seeing him. They said goodbye and he continued on his way to Walmart. On that journey he became aware of all the new sensations, the skirt, the hair on his shoulders, the weight of the bra, the looks. He tried hard not to stare at anyone. On several occasions he felt watched, always by boys. Very uncomfortable, he tried to act like a girl, he just avoided looking at them and walked away discreetly. He bought what he needed for 2 or 3 simple meals at the apartment and returned. At least no one attacked him or openly mocked him. When Agent Castello arrived, Alejandro had already eaten and left the dishes in the kitchen. Ivan saw the dirty dishes. From what I see you already ate. Did you buy detergent or are you going to eat with the same dirty dishes every day? I did not think. Where did you go? To Walmart, but I won't do it again. Why? Everyone was looking at me all the time. I'm sure they knew I'm a boy. Let me see. Stand up. Alejandro did so while Ivan watched him carefully. Walk. He took a few steps from one side of the apartment to the other. I don't think they saw you for that reason, said Ivan, but you're right, we can't risk it. Ivan took a battered sheet of paper from her bag and placed it on the table. It was a missing person notice with Alejandro's photo and information. The contact information were evidently from the cartel. Where did you get this from? They are all over the city, and as far as I know, in every major city in the country. I'm dead. No. This just shows that they have no idea where you are. You think? But you don't know how they looked at me at Walmart. By any chance were those looking at you young men? Alejandro thinks about it for a moment. Yes, almost all of them, and a couple of older guys. Why? Ivan takes him to the mirror again. If you didn't know the truth, and you met a girl like that on the street, wouldn't you see her? Alejandro smiled a little at the idea. Oh really? Is that how we look at girls? Yeah. Get used to it, because that's exactly how men look. That nasty. I hope I've never seen anyone like that. Surely yes, you can't avoid it, but don't worry, us, girls get used to that and sometimes we even like it. No. How are you going to like it? It depends on who sees you. Okay. Alejandro said, trying to understand. It seems like you're lucky, but we can't take the chance, which reminds me, I need you to put these 2 patches on your skin. I recommend you on the hip. Alejandro takes the patches. What are they? This is going to block your testosterone so that your body or your voice doesn't start to change before the trial. Without hesitation, Alejandro lowers his skirt a little on one side and sticks the patch on his hip. And this other one? I wasn't sure about giving it to you, but with these signs all over the country, you better use it. What is it for? This will release a cocktail of hormones that will help you look more like a woman. He sees her hesitating. And it's not going to hurt me? The doctor who prescribed them told me to use them only if we saw risks and that the effects are reversible up to 6 months after starting treatment. She shows him the poster with his photo again. I would say we can't take the risk. But it's your body, your decision. Alejandro thought for a moment and put the patch on the other side of his hip. Good choice, Ivan told him. Don't worry, this will probably end within 6 months, but for now, the best thing is that no one sees anything but Vanessa and you. So let's go. That's all for today. If you like this story, check the channel for more, like and subscribe.